Hello. So I did a film analysis on Crimson Tide for the ethics portion. The Crimson Tide was a really good movie, actually. It was very interesting and um, definitely a nail biter. So as I was watching it, it didn't even take like 30 minutes for me to realize that I'm definitely going to write about utilitarianism because in the military, you just always have to have as a leader, for sure, you have to have everybody else in mind and their safety and well being. And Hunter and Ramsey were both in those leadership positions where all the decisions that they make were based on the soldiers' well being and safety. So, my thesis came to be that while utilitarianism is the view that what is morally right or wrong depends on the consequences of the action, and while Captain Ramsey and Lieutenant Colonel Hunter both practiced utilitarianism, they could never quite agree on a decision that had to be made. Therefore, utilitarianism can be practiced in opposite ways. So the 2 points that I brought up, one was in the very beginning when they were being introduced to each other. Their conflicting views became very eminent, and it was kind of, I think that scene in the beginning was meant to show that this is how it's going to be in the rest of the film. So what happens is Ramsey asks Hunter if bombing Nagasaki and Hiroshima was a mistake, which was a very weird, random question, but obviously he did it to see if they had the same view on decisions about war, because war was imminent in the film and that's what their mission was. So then Ramsey replies, "Well, if I thought that, sir, I wouldn't be here." So then Ramsey laughs and says things like, "Interesting way that you put that. I'd have answered that question by saying, yes, by all means, sir. I don't mean to suggest that you're indecisive, just complicated." And then he says that Ramsey explains that the Navy wants Hunter that way, which is to be simple and no, Ramsey explains that the Navy wants Hunter to be that way, to say what he did. But the Navy wanted him, Ramsey, to be simple. He said that I've got a checklist, a target, and a button to push. All I need to know is how to push it. And they would tell me when. They seem to want you to know why. So he immediately recognizes that they have different viewpoints, and I think that makes him not question his thoughts as much as he would if he hadn't known that about Hunter, because I think it makes him stay more true to his decisions, even though that he knows that they'll be opposite from Ramsey or Hunter. So then my other example of my thesis was how they reacted to a fire in the galley. So Hunter reacts by assisting the fire, getting in there, helping everybody out, and then gets called up to leave the fire and go see Ramsey. So he gets there, and Ramsey starts to conduct a missile exercise drill during the fire. And Hunter immediately says, "The fire could still flare. Are you sure you want to do this?" And Ramsey replies, "Not. This is not the time." So then once the exercise is over, Ramsey asks, "Do you think that I was wrong to run that drill?" Brandy! Shh! Sorry. He asks, "Do you think I was wrong to run that drill?" And they discuss it, and then he gives an explanation like, confusion on the ship is nothing to fear. It should be taken advantage of. So they both had the crew in mind. Ramsey wanted them to be ready and able to perform under pressure and in chaotic times like they would in war, whereas Hunter just wanted to take care of the fire, get everybody safe, make sure it doesn't happen again, and then have the drill at a different time, maybe during a chaotic time, but just not one as chaotic as a fire. So yeah, both men would like to have the greatest good for the greatest number, but utilitarianism also states that the consequences of our actions makes a difference in our moral deliberations. So obviously the two were brought up differently, and especially by the military they were brought up differently, and that helped shape their thoughts on the same situation but just totally differently. And that's all I have. Thanks for listening.